Hey, what's up guys, it's Aris, one half of the Horror Highway. Sorry for the intro, I usually don't do intros for the stories, but I just want to mention that these stories come from, at least from what I understand, before 2013 from 4chan. These are archived stories that were lost due to the collapse of Chan Archive, and a group of, I guess, people who browse X went on an internet archive and tried to, I guess, save them, archive them. It's known as the Museum of X, and yeah, I found it while researching for our next 4chan iceberg part on the main channel. So yeah, this should be a timestamp to teleport you to the first story. There's a town near Dunedin, New Zealand, called Aramoana. In the 70s or 80s, this guy that lived there lost his grip and murdered half the town, women, children, and everything. The gunman hid in some bushes and trees opposite the houses and was found by the police later on. I can't remember if they killed him or got sent to prison. The town is now quite eerie, as the grass and trees are quite long and it's right next to a beach, so isolated and quiet. I saw nobody around during the day, apart from a couple of people fishing. After a day of walking up the sand dunes and just having to look around many rocks and cliffs, we decided to go home. It was about 8 p.m. when we left, and was quite dark. The only real light was the moon. We got in the car and drove down the beach track towards the main road. As we were going around the corner, past the first house, I saw a figure on the side of the road crossing. She was very skinny, around mid-50s. I remember her hands quite clearly. They were so skinny, and her veins stuck out about a centimeter high. She was wearing a long, ragged black dress. Her hair was long and wiry, jet black. She walked out onto the road as if to get to the car, as in when we were driving past her. She would have walked into the side of the car if we had stopped. Her eyes stared into mine the whole time, even though there was barely any light and the windows were tinted. I looked back and she continued walking into the trees on the other side and disappeared. The thing I remember most is her pale hands gripping her shirt, closed, and her aged face staring at me, with a horrific look of her face as if she was about to get murdered. Story 2. This happened a few years ago, when I lived in Tennessee. Driving home from Memphis to Nashville, be around 3 a.m. Halfway home, I realized I forgot to get gas. Take exit with scant hope that I'll find a gas station that's open. Drive about 10 miles and come upon a Sunoco. Pull up to pump. Ding ding. Attendant runs out from garage and promptly begins fueling my car. Feeling pretty confused since full service gas stations are rare, and one being open this late is flat out weird. Attendant starts making small talk with me. I mention how odd it is that they're open at this time of night. His demeanor changes from affable to wary. Things get silent and awkward. That'll be $19. Hands him my debit card. He stares at it, puzzled. What am I supposed to do with this? Explain I have no cash, only debit card. He just stares at me. Well, don't worry about it. This one's on the house. Thank him and get back on the highway. 2 weeks later, I'm passing back through the area. Get off at same exit. Follow road to where gas station was. Intending to pay for the gas I got and thank them for being so helpful. Pull into lot. Place is dilapidated. Looks like it's been abandoned for about 30 years. Super creeped out and head back for the highway. Well, I don't know if these threads is going to take off or not, but here's mine. It's not exactly paranormal or outerworldly, but it did scare the crap out of me when it happened. I was driving home from a friend's house and missed an off-ramp that I had to take, so I kept driving on the freeway and would turn around at the next overpass. I took the overpass and tried to see where the merge lane was so I could get back onto the freeway, but couldn't see a thing because there was no streetlights or reflectors on the road. I ended up passing the merge lane and kept driving into unfamiliar territory. Rural vineyard area with random bushes along the road. I stop in the middle of the road, make a U-turn. Midway through my turn, my headlight comes across a bush, and then I saw just some random person in a sleeping bag get up from the ground. Shocked, I stopped for a second to figure out what I'm seeing. And then the person, a gaunt, Possible meth head, pantsless, old woman, jumps out of her sleeping bag and charges at me while screaming, kinda like the witch from Left 4 Dead. Screw this, I floor and turn as fast as I can and end up nicking her. I don't think I hit her too bad because she was on her feet still when I looked at the rearview mirror. It wasn't a life or death situation, but for some reason it really unsettled me. Story 4. Not driving, but on bus in the middle of the night. B13. Trip to Spain with basketball team. Bus to the north of the country. Like 1 a.m. Tired, but can't fall asleep. Looking through window. Suddenly, green glowing light covering the whole side of a mountain. We passed the mountain, which must have been around 2 kilometers away from the road. Huge, spherical shape, with intricate patterns, and what looked like other substructures all over it, glowing brightly with that green fluorescent light. The whole structure is inside what looks like a quarry that has blown half the mountain off. What, Tiff? Look around to ask someone if they also saw it. Everyone asleep. Still puzzles me. It could have just been a building or something, but why would a building glow fluorescent green in the middle of nowhere? Also, another story that happened to a friend of mine and one of his mates. Be driving along the same rural part of Spain. Notice very tall and thin figure ahead. Go slower. As they approach the guy, they realize he's half naked and has abnormally long limbs. His eyes are injected with blood, face is distorted, and it almost doesn't look human. Taller than he looked like at the beginning. They drive past that thing, filling the car with shit bricks. Friend looks to the mirror. The humanoid is starting to sprint towards the car. Freak out. Floor it. Car's going nearly 80 kilometers an hour, and the humanoid is still able to stay close to it. They accelerate to 120 and finally lose track of it. Story 5. Driving back to university after summer holidays. Stop off at services for some food and nap. It's a 4-hour drive back. Woken by some dude knocking on my window. He looks really scruffy, but for some reason, I rolled down the window. He asked for a lift to Sheffield, about 30 miles away. Stupidly agree. We get talking as I drive off. His name is Warren. He's 56. I quote, he's going to Sheffield to murder his daughter because she ran off with 20,000 of his savings with her boyfriend. Start getting worried. He goes into detail how he has a copy key to her flat in Sheffield. Shows me the key. Okay, he could be lying. Says he's going to knock her out, tie her up, and torture her. Goes into his backpack and pulls out a full-blown military-grade machete. Nope, all the way to Sheffield. Make small talk on other subjects while crapping myself. Once he leaves the car, call the police and make a report. And that was the last of it. No news or contact with him or police since. But my god, I thought I was going to get carjacked at least, or at least threatened for money.